So I'm really pleased to introduce Linda Thorne, and she is 64 years of age, a granny of 3,
Yeah.
and she's also a champion powerlifter. So I will let you tell more of your titles in a moment, Linda, but you started kettlebells in 2015, was that?
Yeah, around that time. I can't be certain, but it's around that time, yeah.
Yeah, how did you get introduced to those?
I've been playing rugby. I did a lot of running and I thought I needed something else. So I saw a friend who was doing kettlebells, looked really good.
Yeah,
And I joined a club.
excellent. So when did you come to Strong first?
I think that was around 2017. I'm not entirely
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that would be when we first met. I think you was on
Yeah,
my team.
yeah, I was.
Yeah, wow. Oh, it's going. So you also then went to powerlifting
I
very
did.
late in life, might I say. Of
Yeah.
yeah, so when was that?
I started mainly deadlifting around 2000. I've written some notes down here. 2 years later, around 2017.
Yeah, wow.
Um, so from kettlebells, I started doing a little bit of deadlifting, a little bit of squatting, but I wasn't that good, so I stuck to the deadlifting
Yeah.
because I was good at it.
We all like to do what
Yeah.
we're good at. We don't like to address the stuff. Again, obviously, yeah, we've all got a strong points. Some are more squats, some are more deadlift. What made you think about going to powerlifting?
I just enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I I enjoyed the feeling of feeling really strong and lifting big weights. It
yeah,
made it made me feel quite powerful.
yeah,
And it seemed like a natural progression from the kettlebells as well. It fitted so well together.
yeah.
I just carried on doing it.
So what titles have you got to date? Because obviously we're going to get some more.
Yeah, well, hopefully, you never know.
Oh
So
no, we will.
I started full power a couple of years ago, and
Yeah,
I competed a little bit in the deadlift arena before that. So
yeah,
full power I started a couple of years ago. So last year I was British champion.
yeah,
This year I got the silver medal at the British.
yeah.
I've got the European powerlifting silver medal,
Excellent.
and I
Wow.
got various other medals to go with it in deadlift and other things.
Your grandkids must be so proud to have a really
They are.
strong
My
granny.
children are as well. And I'm
Yeah.
about to take part in the World Powerlifting Championships in South Africa.
And when's that?
It's on the 5th of October.
Day before your
And the day
65th
before I turn
birthday.
65.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, we expect a gold medal, no pressure. So your I've got it down here that your squats, which by your own admission, you don't like, it's not your favorite, but again, you've got very long levers. So your squat is 90 kilos, your bench 52.5 kilos,
Yeah,
and your deadlift 147.5 kilos.
yeah.
So I know we shouldn't ask a lady that. We've already touched on your age, so what the heck? So what's your weight when you compete?
When I compete, I'm in the under 69 kilo category.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have to strip down for that?
I do have to strip down.
Yeah,
I'm not actually, I for this competition, the Worlds, I've gone up a category
yeah.
because there's a couple of reasons really. I've had a couple of niggles,
Mm.
so that's taken me some time to get over. I'm also going on a walking holiday in Amalfi for 10 days. And I really don't want to, I want to enjoy myself in Sun City, and that doesn't involve cutting a load of stuff.
No, no. So when you were cutting to make weight, was it hard for you or?
I find it quite hard, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I can get down to say 70 or
Yeah,
71 quite easily. That
yeah,
other 2 kilos
yeah,
take a lot of not eating and
yeah.
little bits of drink. It's like a
Yeah, yeah. So what do you start a water cut like similar to what I would do in bodybuilding? Or so I would probably start a cut on the, say if I was competing the Saturday, I would start a cut on the Wednesday, I would start reducing.
I'd more reduce on the Thursday
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then gradually cut it down. And then on the Friday, it depends what I weigh.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if I have to lose a lot, then I'll water cut before and get it down. But it is quite hard work.
Yeah, and I suppose as well, for you, I mean, I just had to stand there on stage, look all right. It didn't really matter, just paint a smile on, off you go. But I suppose for you, it's the performance as well.
It is, yeah. If you've got very, you go and cut, and you go and get weighed in, and then you need to eat as much calories as you can before you compete, because you need that energy in your system. You haven't got long just to do these lifts. If you haven't got the energy in your system, it does affect me a lot.
So do you sort of like, you pay attention a lot to nutrition normally, like your protein intake and stuff?
Massively. Massively. Protein's my main thing, to make sure I get that in. I try and eat 2 grams of protein per kilogram of weight. So I have about 140 grams of protein a day, sometimes more. I have good meat. Like a bit of fat. Nice fat, olive oil, avocados, that sort of thing. Nuts. I'm not massive on carbs. I do eat some carbs. But again, good carbs, brown stuff. But they're not it's mainly fats and protein.
I get a lot of people, I don't know about you, but what I find with more, I train a mixture of male and female, but females, especially when they're into sort of like over 40s, I do find that we respond much, much better to what I would say a low carb. So I'm not saying no carb, but I find the starchy carbs we don't respond to. I think we become quite insulin resistant. So I don't think did you find a difference?
I do, and I do amongst my clients as well. And it's very, very hard to educate them, because they've been doing something for so long, and then they go like, I'm not losing this, or I'm not losing that, and it's just like, well, what's your diet like? And most people don't get enough protein. They have no idea how much protein they need. When you try and tell them, they're like, oh my goodness.
And I think, do you find sort of like what I've found, most people underestimate the calories. I'm not very much into calorie counting. Calories do count, but if your macros aren't right, let's forget the complicated stuff. But I think most people overestimate how much protein they're eating, and as soon as you get them tracking. So do you track how much you're eating, or just check in every so often?
I just check in every so often, and I have conversations with people who are having troubles. They also underestimate how much they eat. Very much. They go, my diet's really healthy. I have this, that, and the other. And what do you have in between? And they leave out the 3 chocolate biscuits they had, and the
glass of wine,
and the Mars bar, and all of that. And it's like, well, actually,
So
I get them, if they're really concerned, I get them to keep a diary. And that tells me an awful lot.
What would you say, sort of like, obviously you've built a really good community. It's Shire
Strong.
So you've built a really, really good community there.
It's going quite well.
So how many what is it just women, or?
No, it's men and women. It's mostly women.
I
have a few men, but the men I have are amazing, because they're over 70.
Wow.
I know.
No,
I've got a few ladies over 70 as well, and they're amazing.
Wow.
It's never too late to try something.
And I think as well, I mean, it's like, obviously you came to powerlifting much, much later. And what would your message be to, well, if you could go back to your, say, 40-year-old self, what would you tell your 40-year-old self?
Go and do it. I mean, at 40, I was playing rugby and things like that. My focus was completely different. It was more rugby and running. But powerlifting has built me the muscle. It's changed my shape. There's so many benefits. It's kept me very independent and very, I feel strong and very independent. And my mindset's really good. There's so many things that are good about it. I do it.
How do you think your body composition's changed?
Oh, hugely. I've grown much more muscle, much
Yeah.
more muscle from playing rugby was good for a bit of contact sport, it's the only place you can hit somebody legally.
I'm not.
But it's we had such fun as well. It's definitely built the right muscles,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
back's stronger, my arms are stronger, my core's stronger, my legs, just everything is stronger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything. And my
Yeah.
mindset's stronger as well.
Yeah. I think it's that women have got that. And I can't even believe we still even hear it nowadays, that I don't want to get big and bulky. Now, you are not big and bulky. You carry some muscle, but you're not gonna hormonally, we're not designed to build an awful lot of muscle. I mean, I train for the aesthetics and train for muscle. I'm not huge and bulky,
You can't look like He-Man. It's impossible. People say that to me, and I'm like, I lift weights all the time. Look at me.
Yeah,
I do not look like He-Man.
exactly. So we're not suddenly going to wake up, and it's like when I say to women, if I get that question, is, if you start to look like Arnie overnight, then we'll just scale the training back.
If that miracle happens.
Yeah, if we all have arms like this, but stuff like. So with if a lady came to you and she wants to say get into powerlifting, where would you advise, what lifts would you advise her to start on, and how would you advise her to start?
I would start generally with kettlebells.
Yeah.
Swing a bell, lift a bell, deadlift a bell, press a bell.
Yeah.
It's safer for a start. It's one bell, one piece of equipment, all sorts of weights.
Yeah.
And you can move up very gradually, and then gradually get into deadlifting and things like that. But deadlifting a kettlebell is brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So with because you came to the SFG one, so I can remember back to it would have been, I think it was Sean Cairns, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah. So that would be 26.
I think it was
2017.
17, yeah.
Yeah.
A few years after I started kettlebells, I was frightened to death.
Yeah. We scared you.
Oh, you did.
but how much, even now, how much has your movement improved?
Oh, hugely. It teaches you so much. You go there thinking you know a lot.
Yeah.
And you come away realizing you knew nothing.
I have that every time I go to a certification.
It teaches you how to brace properly, how to be, tight.
Yeah.
And how to get the best out of your body and your lifts.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So how much do you think the kettlebells has really benefited the powerlifting? I know you went to powerlifting from the kettlebells, but how much do you think it still benefits your powerlifting?
Of course it does. Yeah, I use them regularly.
Yeah.
Not as much when I'm moving up to a competition, because everything's quite stressful and heavy.
Yeah.
During normal times, I'll do a bit of everything. The kettlebell swing, I mean, what more do you want, really? Ballistic, gives your heart a workout, gives your muscles a workout.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Yeah. And pressing 2 bells.
Yeah.
That's something to be.
Yeah. I think that's it. Obviously, the kettlebell swing is going to benefit the absolute power and things like that. And I think it was from the guy from Wenning Strong, what he really advocates the kettlebell swing as well. And I think so many powerlifters, it's part of what they're probably missing.
Oh, there's so many benefits to it. If you do, on the minute swings for even 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's 10 minutes of exercise. That's a good workout.
Yeah. It's over in lockdown, I trained a big rugby guy, and he only had a 24-kilo belt at home, so I trained him online. And when the gyms opened up, he went in and he did a lifetime personal best on the deadlift. He went, I've only had a 24 kilo kettlebell.
It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it'll change. It changes your, you know, you build muscle everywhere just swinging a kettlebell.
So how often do you train?
Me at the moment, because I'm working up to competition, it's 3 times a week.
Yeah.
1 day each lift.
Yeah. Yeah.
But every training session is probably 2 hours long.
Wow.
Because by the time you've rested, warmed up, cooled down, done your accessories.
Yeah. So with your so say you were doing let's just say you're doing your deadlifts. So how do you structure that on your lift? So, you know, on your, do you do it 65, 75, 85%, 1 RM or?
So I have a coach.
Yeah.
We should all have a coach.
Every coach needs a coach, Linda.
Every coach needs a coach. And I start at about 50%.
Yeah.
And I do 10.
Yeah.
And then it ramps it up until I'm at about 85% at the moment for second 2. So there's 10, 8, 6, 4.
Yeah.
Up in the weights each time. And then last time I did, and it'll go up this week again. So I did 115 for 2, 120 for 2. I think 125 for 2 and 130 for 2.
125 is my lifetime. I suddenly sound very weedy.
No. It's hard. It's hard. And after that, and a few accessories, you know, I need plenty of rest in between these lifts.
Yeah. How long do you normally rest?
I'd say 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Before I pick it up again. And then sometimes, you know, I go to pick up and think, actually, I need a couple more minutes now.
Yeah.
I have to go and have a word with myself.
Do you find, I mean, I get asked about, which program should I do? Now, I'm very much, I have a skeleton of a program for a client, but I always scale it to that day. So do you have a go-to program, or is it how you feel that day?
I have a go-to program, but if I don't feel up to it that day, and I'll always try it. Yeah. You know, but if I get halfway through and think, actually, this really isn't working for me today, I'm tired, or I'm off, or I haven't slept very well, then I'll scale it back. Yeah. Because what you're going to do otherwise is injure yourself. Yeah. It's, but I think that thing when people go into the gym, they're always trying to hit a PB, aren't they? Yeah. And I mean, after this, I'll go back to doing lots of reps at a low weight. First, it gives me a body rest, and I'll go back to more kettlebells. And secondly, it builds more muscle. Yeah. So what would you, when you're let's say you're off season, so we're going into the 85% in you coming up to competition sort of thing, and do you go up to the 95s, or do you sort of stay back a bit? You stay back a bit. So during I'll have a week when I get back from Amalfi, and then the final week will just be doing my opening lifts. Yeah. And then I'll have a week's rest. Is that when you decide what you're going to open with? Yeah. And have you got an idea what you're going to open with? I think squat will be somewhere between 75 and 80. Yeah. Bench will be probably 45 to 47. Yeah. And deadlift about 135-ish. So what are you hoping to get? What you, because we all have a goal. It's really hard because I've had all these niggles and things. I mean, in an ideal world, if everything was going really, 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 really well, 100 on the squat. Yeah. Wow. 100 squat. Yeah. 55 on the thing with bench is very tiny little increments. So 1 kilo can feel like loads of extra weight. So if I got 55 on bench, I'd be quite happy, and 150 on the deadlift.
Yeah.
I'd like a 300 total.
Yeah. And I don't you find though, when you're under the bench, it's that grind and it just doesn't seem to be moving.
And you get down, you have to wait until they say press before
Yeah.
you can press it. Sometimes that feels like half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you so obviously sort of bench is probably you're the one you struggle with more, is it?
It's so technical.
Mm.
It's so technical, getting really tight on the bench and pushing with your feet and engaging your quads and your glutes and everything by the kitchen sink, and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm not going to name them, it's confidential, but I've been coaching somebody on their bench and they're pretty strong on the bench. And the thing that I've actually found that they're missing is actually the mid T-spine. They're actually missing the mid traps, and they thought they were getting the lats in and they thought they were using the quads, and they realized that actually they weren't. And I actually coached them on it online as well, which is not the easiest thing.
No, I can imagine. Yeah.
To do.
Yeah.
You can't take them up really max because you get buried under the thing, under the bar. But so do you use accessory lifts to help you with that?
I use not necessarily, I use obviously I video things and send them to my coach, and he gives me some very good feedback. I mean, I couldn't engage my quads or glutes for ages.
Yeah.
It's just such a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'll do some what they called split squats.
Yeah.
With a raised front foot.
Yeah.
I hate them, but I'll do them. The things you put yourself through.
Yeah.
So I do some of those.
Mm.
I do walking lunges. I do all sorts of that sort of stuff. And I do some mobility, because mobility is in my hips is never been brilliant.
No, but it's improved.
It's massively improved, and I've worked on it so much.
Yeah. It's that thing of when you look back, I think it's a thing that for most people forget where they started. They never set the baseline.
No.
So, so when you look at where you were and
I'm miles on.
and yeah, but you've massive, and hell, your titles speak for themselves. So if as we're saying, people shouldn't excuse their age. We're never too old.
No.
Ever. So what would your advice be to a lady in, let's say, coming up 60? What would your advice be to her?
In what way?
Health.
Health-wise, strength-wise.
Mm.
Go and find a nice club. Like mine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Shire strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, great community of ladies.
You don't need to go to a gym and be all, because the gyms people find them hard work. If you walk into a gym like the one I go to, you're probably going to be scared to death by it.
Yeah.
Go and find a nice coach, a nice local community, someone who knows what they're doing. Because I've seen some terrible kettlebell techniques in the gym.
Hence I train on my own.
yeah, terrible techniques. You can't say anything but flipping, Henry. And go be part of a community. Shire Strong isn't just Shire Strong, it's a community of people. We have socials. There's no competition between people. It's all camaraderie and encouragement, and it's just a nice place to be.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're getting people in their 70s lifting, so one of your students, so say a lady in her 70s, what are they doing? What do you have them doing?
Lady in their 70s, they do all the things everyone else does. They might use a lighter weight.
Yeah.
They might need to work on their mobility a little bit more. but we
Yeah.
do in the sessions as well.
Yeah.
But they do the same things that everyone else does. If they need a
Excellent.
chair to squat, then they can have a chair to squat, you know, just to get the movement.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah, exactly. But you are so inspirational. It's like, hopefully I've got chance of lifting as heavy as you, Linda, when I grow up. So, but I think it's so, what you're saying, it's so valuable on the biggest problem we have nowadays is frailty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. And you know, I get people coming into the club who are in their 60s and 70s, and within a few sessions, even the way they hold themselves has changed.
Yeah.
You know, their posture's improved, their shoulders are back more, rather than being, you know, and they've sat all their lives in an office or something, and they're coming in like that. So it doesn't matter what age you are, you can get a lot stronger and a lot better.
Yeah. I think nowadays as well, there's so little emphasis on children exercising. So we're from the era that sport was a big part of school. You had to, it wasn't a negotiation whether you were going to go and do any sport, and we didn't get a prize for also ran.
No.
Top three, apart from that, darling, doesn't mean anything. There's nothing wrong with a healthy sort of competition, and I think it would be, I would imagine we're going to have an epidemic of osteopenia, osteoporosis, and bad posture. And
it's terrible. Yeah. You're not allowed to be competitive in schools either anymore, not the mainstream schools. And I find that absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, you go, oh, well, yeah, they're not good at sport. Yeah, but academically, they could be bright. I was always quite sporty. And obviously, I think, well, actually, you told me something interesting that I did not know. Yeah, share that with us, Linda, about when you said.
Well, I was quite sporty at school, and then I went through a bit of a down phase.
Yeah.
And between about my late teens and early 20s,
yeah,
I put on a significant amount of weight and got to about 18 stone.
Oh, I've got to see that. I cannot imagine you being.
I was huge.
Yeah. So, so what was that? Just lifestyle or?
Lifestyle. I was living it up a lot, you know. Yeah, just lifestyle. I was loving life in a way, but in the other way, I felt horrible, really horrible.
Yeah. So what was the tipping point for you changing that?
The way I felt, really. I think, you know, I looked at my clothes and me in a mirror, and it wasn't me at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. On the outside, I was the brightest, most cheerful, loud, you know, really enjoying myself. Person inside, I was dying.
Yeah.
And something had to go, and I had to change it massively.
Yeah.
And I did it overnight.
Yeah, I think I don't think anybody's seen any of the photos of me when I was quite chunky. And that was through really, really harsh dieting for competition. And I've done, I think I've pretty much done 5 years of solid competition, just not giving because I kept getting qualifying for another thing, and it was like, and then I think it was one of the universities, and I just went, I cannot do it, and I ballooned. Yeah, I put on two stone. I could not stop eating, and this is when we talk about calorie restricted diets, the hunger will take over.
Yeah.
And when it does, you cannot stop it. Good luck with it.
Yeah.
I
can't imagine.
I could not stop. It was just like I ate and ate and ate. Didn't feel good.
No.
But then that'd go, and I was like ate and ate and I was like, oh my God. And then I can remember catching sight of myself in the mirror, like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And I felt crap.
Yeah.
So then you went into playing rugby.
I had my children. spent a few, well, you know what happened between, you know,
Mm.
went through a lot of domestic abuse and things like that. And then when I left my ex-husband, we had a group of friends, and girls rugby wasn't that popular, but my boys all played down the local rugby club, and this group of friends were all slight misfits. Some were divorced, some had been through what I'd been through, and all of that sort of stuff. We all got together and formed a rugby team.
Yeah, nice.
Much to the disgust of the men's rugby team, who thought at that time women shouldn't be playing rugby. Behave yourselves.
Women absolutely should be playing rugby.
I know, we had a ball. So I started playing rugby, and we were, you know, we started in the bottom divisions, we won that, we won a few championships and things.
Yeah.
And we were a bunch of older ladies, you know, kicking ass to the younger girls who were like, oh my God.
See, some men will find that intimidating, and it's like, you know, and it's coming out of the situation that you came out of, and same here. We will tell our stories, but that's for another podcast.
It is,
but it goes to show that doing something to do with physical and the strength training and the mental side of it, how beneficial that is to just building it. I mean, even in Peter Attia's Outlive book, he speaks about the mental, the community, the emotional connection as well. It's all part of it, isn't it? It's not just what you lift or the health.
And rugby also helped me get rid of some of the frustrations and the, you know, the torment and the anger and all of that that had been building up for years before. It was a great release of so many feelings in so many ways. I
think that people don't understand it if they haven't lived with it. It's that toxic, boiling, simmering, you can't get away from it. And I think it's that thing that when people go, why didn't you get away?
Unless you've been there, you have no idea. You have no idea.
No, and it is one of those things that what people perceive on the outside and what's really going on, and it's that the gym for me was my escape. And it was, and I mean, but now you've got a great career, you've got a great well, your lifting speaks for itself. You've got children and grandchildren. So how old are they?
Ophelia's 10, Fred's 9, and Hudson is 4.
Oh, keep you busy.
Yeah, they do. I look after them a lot as well, so my life is pretty full up.
But so they've got the most amazing granny.
So quite intrigued by it all, I think.
So tell everybody where they can find you, Linda, and leave them with something inspirational that's going to make them want to go and start lifting.
Oh, I'll put you on the spot. I'm on Facebook, Shire Strong. Just look up Shire Strong.
I will put some. I'll put some links in the notes.
I'm on Instagram, and I've got a website as well, but you can look that up and put that on too.
I will do.
Something that's going to make them lift. Well, if you want to live with a strong, independent, and age well, and if you want to feel really, really, really good about yourself, go and find somebody lovely like me.
Get me.
and Claire, of course. And lift some weights. There is no way anyone would ever regret lifting weights. If you've got a bad back, if you've got, you know, niggles, things like that, just go and lift some weights. If you're feeling a bit, go and lift some weights. I'll tell you what, it'll change your life, as mine.
Absolutely. Linda, it's been an absolute pleasure. I will put links in the show notes, and thank you for being so inspiring.
You're very welcome. It's been great. I've enjoyed myself.